Victoria, good systems and processes appear to be very important to John Lewis. Does that mean that staff have very little discretion in how they work?
No, I would say it's the absolute opposite. The systems and processes provide, in theory, the framework in which the partners are then able to make the decisions that are right for the customer, when either they're stood in front of them or over the phone or indeed online or through social media. It should provide a framework, a safety net and a context for them to ensure that they are making the right decisions at the right time.
Could you tell us a bit about how you ensure that staff follow those systems and processes consistently? Because it's something we struggle with in the NHS sometimes.
Yeah, and consistency is key where relevant. Now, I wouldn't want consistency to be at the expense of flexibility or coming up with the right solution at the right time in a given moment for the customer. We try to ensure that our processes are simple to understand, that they're widely published, and they're readily available for any partner should they need them. And importantly, they need to be able to rely on their managers to give them the information, to give them support as and when they need it. But key is visibility of systems and processes, and not having tombs of books and files laid out that people would never access.
Could you tell us a bit about the way that John Lewis handles complaints and how your staff are involved in the complaints resolution?
Well, paramount for us is that we try to prevent the complaints before they happen, but inevitably some things will go wrong sometimes. And wherever possible, we try to resolve them at that first point of contact with the customer. So we hope that partners would feel confident and have enough information to be able to resolve complaints where possible. If that can't happen, it's important that we have the information from the customer and the partner concerned that's received the complaint to be able to pass that complaint to the right person to be able to fix it. It's important for us that we do have specialists in the right place to be able to resolve complaints.
We've heard in our seminars several contributors in the NHS talking about recruiting staff for the values that they bring to their work. Is that something that's important in John Lewis?
Absolutely, yes. Recruitment is very important, and it's important to reflect in our recruitment that we have people with the skills to deliver great service and with the behaviours that reflect great service. Essentially, people that want to interact with other people. That's what retail is all about. It's all about talking to people and ensuring that they are happy with their purchases. So we would like to recruit people that get some enjoyment from that kind of interaction with customers, and also then we can help them learn the skills to continuously improve their service.
How do you sustain those values in practice?
The principles of the partnership are very important to us, to everybody in the partnership. When somebody joins the partnership, we ensure that they understand what those principles are and our reason for existence and what the aims of the partnership are. And it's something that everybody understands, and it's something that we refer to quite frequently in our communication, so eventually it becomes something that we just live and breathe.
You told us a bit about the governance arrangements, that you have 80,000 partners in John Lewis. Does that ownership that staff have in the business constrain the board's ability to make decisions that may not make good business sense but may not be in the interest of all of its staff?
There's always a fine balancing act between, as I talked about, understanding the benefits for the partners, benefits for the customers, and what the benefits for our profit are. And we talk about a new way of business that is all about happiness for our partners, which translates to happiness of customers, and ensuring that we deliver sufficient profit that contributes to those two things. So our board always has those three elements paramount in their mind, I believe, when they are looking to make decisions, particularly those related to service, I would say.
We'd be interested to hear about how John Lewis achieves continuous improvement in customer care. You're already very highly rated, but have ambitious to improve. How do you do that?
we're very grateful for the positive feedback that we receive and the awards that we receive for service, but we don't let that blind us to any potential pain points that might be out there that customers experience with us. So we balance up the good news with the bad news that we receive, and we ensure that we put as much focus on responding to the bad news and the complaints as we do to sharing the good news and sharing the best practice that comes with that. Mm-hmm. It's important that we don't get carried away with the success stories, but also look at where things are not going so well and ensure that we correct those for the future.
Are there exemplars that you look to stretch your performance?
For me, working in a head office, there's nothing like being out there in the stores, and I would say pretty much everybody in a head office environment in John Lewis likes to get out into our stores and actually live it and breathe it and see it. There's nothing like being in front of the customer yourself, or being in front of the partner yourself, who is at the receiving end often of a lot of the work that we do, and hearing from them face to face what it's like for them being in the stores, and that's really what keeps us on track.
I think that's a very important lesson for the Department of Health and for the National Commissioning Board going forward. Victoria Simpson, thank you so much for sharing your experience. There's a lot of parallel lessons that we can learn from your experience in John Lewis.
It's a pleasure.